On a crisp day in 1990, Björk's phone rang.
Hello.
She was at the airport, ready to leave London for her native Iceland. On the line were Manchester's electronic pioneers, 808 State.
And they said, could you come over to Manchester and do some tracks? And in 5 minutes, I called the air company and said, we just have to change my ticket. It's a question of life and death.
Days later, she was recording Q-Mart and Oops for 808 State's album XL, a record that would go on to influence the likes of Aphex Twin and Autica. This slight detour in plans ended up being a turning point in Björk's career. The collaboration firmly marked Björk's shift from the world of indie rock into electronic music, paving the way for her first solo album, Debut, one that would redefine the boundaries between pop and underground dance music.
Sad thing, all right.
That call with 808 State was a pivotal moment. But Björk's connection to dance music first took shape years earlier, during her time as lead singer of Icelandic band, the Sugar Cubes.
When Sugar Cubes got attention abroad and we started to travel in '88, I was really excited to find out about live bands because I never had the opportunity to do that before in Iceland. Every time it was a day of touring, I would try to see all the bands and I was so disappointed because it's so stagnant. So I started going to clubs and I just became obsessed with clubs.
Björk's love for the progressive, free spirit of nightlife became the foundation for Debut, a deeply personal and exploratory interpretation of dance floor euphoria.
I've been writing my own material for a while now. I decided that it was ready to be finished. I started out looking for the people that I wanted to finish it with me.
Getting early interest in the album wasn't easy. There's no budget, she told collaborators. If you're in for the music. Derek Burkett took a chance on the project with his label. He wasn't a fan of tracks like Violently Happy, but still gave Björk the freedom to experiment. And she did.
Here comes the cliche. Of course I could think about 9,000 people, but I would like to thank Derek Burkett, who stood by my side for 12 years.
Next on her hit list was renowned producer Nelly Hooper, who built his reputation working with an array of artists, most notably British collective Soul to Soul. Together, Hooper and Soul to Soul were brilliantly capturing the elements of hip-hop, R&B and rare groove rising out of the late 80s UK club circuits. Björk was initially suspicious of Nelly's music, admitting to The Face magazine that it was too good taste for her liking. She liked to go out and dance to hardcore and industrial techno. But when she heard Hooper's ideas, her hesitation dissolved.
Nelly is brilliant and I think we work together very naturally. If I go out hunting and bring the steak and Kiana suggests a way to cook it and we cook it together.
Nelly's talent for creating soulful, percussive grooves and irresistible hooks quickly shone through in their collaboration. Björk played the keyboard, producing about 90% of the music, while Hooper provided expressive beats and arrangements that balanced out clubbier sounds. Hooper's work on Massive Attack's Blue Lines also played a significant role in shaping Debut. Listen to how the dramatic strings and spacious drums on Safe From Harm share the slow-motion mystique of One Day. Björk's boldest experiment emerged on There's More to Life Than This, where she recorded live in the toilet of legendary London venue Milk Bar in an effort to channel the life bursting from the city's clubs.
Come on, girl. Sneak out of this party. It's getting boring.
On the
album, there's one track called There's More to Life Than This, where at one point it kind of sounds like you've gone out of a room and you're singing it in a toilet.
We could nick a boat and sneak off to this island. I could bring my little ghetto blaster. There's more to life than this.
Björk drew heavily from the club ecosystem, but made sure to give back in return. The Fluke mini-mix version of Big Time Sensuality remains a set favourite among DJs. Its opening cinematic synths signal a momentous new beginning before dropping into slinky progressive house. Björk also tapped into British electronic acts The Black Dog, Andrew Weatherall's The Sabres of Paradise, and Underworld to reimagine tracks, further deepening the album's foundation in rave culture.
Well, I always go so chuffed and so grateful when people that I respect very, very much show that much interest in my work, to actually throw it on the mixing desk and have a play with it and maybe create something there that wasn't there, like add to it. So I just go really, like grateful, like I'm flattered that they care.
But debut wasn't just about the club. Björk looked far and wide for inspiration to realise her expansive vision of pop music.
My first instinct was, because I had been in a band for 10 years and it was always just the same instruments for every single song, which is amazing, but also can be very limiting. So debut for me is also a little bit like a kid in a toy shop. So it was like Hollywood strings and a brass section, and it was just like, now I can have everything I want.
The people that ended up in my band without me planning it, so were like one person from Iran, one from India, one from Turkey, one from Cyprus, one from Barbados.
Listen to the fox-trotting bass line on lead single Human Behaviour, taken from Quincy Jones and Ray Brown Orchestra's jazz-funk song, Go Down Dying.
If you ever get close to a human and human behavior.
Unlike Someone in Love, she covers the jazz standard with harpist Corky Hale.
I find myself out gazing at stars.
The anchor song transports listeners to Björk's old Reykjavik flat overlooking the harbour.
I come from Iceland and this harbour is probably my roots,
I live by the ocean.
When she croons I Live by the Ocean, a fleet of melancholy saxophone trails behind her, resembling foghorns alerting boats, drifting in and out. Life isn't always the same, she told ID. You don't live in one style day to day. Unexpected things happen, and that's this record.
Music isn't brilliant unless it goes beyond the point of being music and becomes real life. It should be beyond style, beyond influence. It should be about pure emotion and real life.
Debut immediately made Björk a cult icon and laid the groundwork for her leap into international superstardom. Everyone understood this, except perhaps Björk herself.
When I say that I think the album is not so good, I'm talking from my own point of view. I know I can do a lot better. I was very surprised to get all this good reception.
Debut's commitment to experimentation, to frivolity and fun, not only left a lasting impression on the early 90s musical landscape, but served as a cultural glue. Discerning British ravers, bright pop enthusiasts, and sample-worshipping hip-hop fans united under Debut's unique patchwork of sounds. Think how deprived modern music might be.
without that one phone call that set it all into motion.